What's going on, guys? Merijn here, and welcome to the third episode of the Hybrid Aesthetics series. Today is day 3, which is a lower body workout in which we target our quads, hamstrings, glutes, calves, and core. We start with the same warm-up as I showed you in the first video of this series, with a bit more emphasis on warming up our legs, hips, and lower back with a few extra drills. So as you know by now, we start off every workout with a skill or heavy lift we're trying to improve at. On this day, that's the pistol squat. For me, this is the exercise I suck the most at. You can start by doing it assisted, simply by holding on to something, or doing it with a box below you first. We are aiming for max reps here, which can be 1 rep or 5 reps depending on your skill level. Once you go past 10 reps per leg, I would recommend putting this exercise later into your workout. I'm not a big fan of heavy weighted pistol squats since they are potentially prone to injury compared to other exercises. For our main compound lift, we are moving on to the next exercise, which is the one-legged leg press. This is the exercise that has built my quads the most. I used to do a lot of squatting, but after I tore my meniscus, I kept getting slight pains when going heavy, even when perfecting my form. When we look at purely functional and performance, the squat will be better since it's a compound lift and includes stability, coordination, etc. But that's not the goal with the leg press today. The goal is hypertrophy and building quads that are sick as fuck. You don't need squats even though you might believe so, like I used to. My quads look better now than ever and I haven't done a squat for the past 10 years. The key driver to muscle growth is progressive overload, and this can easily be done on a leg press or hack squat while focusing primarily on the quads to move the weight. As far as the different foot stances, studies have shown that this does not really affect hypertrophy, so whatever feels best for you. Whether this is more straight or slightly pointed out to the side. I'm a big fan of unilateral work for each muscle group, which will be a slight hit for your ego, but on the flip side, you have to spend a lot less time and effort loading up a crazy amount of plates on the leg press. What's important here is to brace your core and keeping your back flat against the backrest. Aim for a position where your knee is at least hip width apart. Press through your working foot and do not overextend at the top. I'm sure some of you have seen these frightening videos of people breaking their legs on these movements, crazy stuff. I don't recommend watching it if you haven't yet, but it's quite simple, guys. Once your quads are fully extended, do not overextend any further with your knee. Studies have also shown by now that rep ranges matter a lot less than I used to think for muscle growth. The important part here is how close we are training to failure. On this main compound, that means an RIR of 2 to 3 again. Next up, we have hyperextensions on a Roman chair. This is an excellent exercise for targeting the posterior chain, including the glutes, hamstrings, and lower back. What's important here is setting up the pad lower than the top of your pelvis. If not, you'll primarily be targeting your lower back, but we want more focus on our hamstrings and glutes. I lower until the point of a full stretch in my hamstrings and glutes, and my back stays stable. In this way, the muscles of my back, erector muscles, are working to isometrically stiffen my core to stabilize the spine, and therefore the prime movers are going to be the hip extensors, the glutes and the hamstrings. If you move too far down, you get a lot of the movement of the spine under load, and that's not the purpose here. Slower lower your upper body towards the ground by hinging at your hips and engaging your glutes and hamstrings. Control the descent to avoid hyperextending your lower back or using any momentum. And when you go back up, really focus on moving the weight with your hamstrings and squeezing your glutes at the top, but not overextending that back. Next up are seated leg curls, an isolation exercise for our hamstrings. Science has shown these to be more effective for muscle growth than lying leg curls because they place the hamstrings in a more lengthened position. On the hyperextension, we focused on hip extension, and on the leg curl, we focus on knee flexion. It's important to include both in your program for optimal hamstring development. Adjust the machine so that you can drive the weight through your heels and can get the full range of motion. Keep your core engaged and hold on to the sides of the seat for stability and support. Since this particular machine has a fixed seat, I lean forward a slight bit, but normally I would recommend keeping your back on the pad behind you while still bracing your core. Next exercise is the leg extension, an isolation exercise for our quads. Many people are afraid of this exercise, specifically those who have suffered from knee pain. Reality is, this exercise is actually used for knee rehab by many professionals, with very light weights, obviously. The problem mainly lies there, in the weights that are being used, and a bunch of meatheads trying to show off by using full stack with wrong execution. I give leg extensions a lot of credit for my quad development and the definition I have, which is greatly visible during this exercise. First, adjust the leg extension machine to your height so the knee pad aligns with the axis of your knee joint when seated. Sit on the machine with your back against the backrest and your legs extended in front of you. Hold on to the handles of the side of your seat for stability. Keep your core engaged at all times and your back flat against the backrest throughout this exercise. Now begin the movement by straightening your legs and extending your knees. What's crucial here is to not overextend your knees, just like on the leg press, and not lock your knees. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. Once your quad is fully flexed, your job is done here. And you can hold it there for 1 second and then come back down slowly and controlled. Avoid letting the weight stack slam down at the bottom of the movement and keep constant tension on your quads. Avoid arching your back or using your upper body to assist in lifting the weight. Leave your ego at home. Upper legs are finished. Now we move on to our lower legs. Here we are doing a superset like on day 1 of the program. This time we are supersetting Smith machine calf raises with kettlebell tibialis raises. Place the barbell on your back and your feet on the edge of the step. Then unlock the barbell, keep your legs straight and push with the balls of your feet all the way up to the top. Squeeze your calves on the way up, focusing on the upper part of the calf. Hold the rep and pause for 1 or 2 seconds before slowly going back down. After you're set, directly go into the kettlebell tibialis raises. Sit on the box with your feet off the ground. Hook your foot in the kettlebell and perform ankle dorsiflexion. So focus on moving your foot up towards your shins. Do not allow the kettlebell to touch the floor and make sure the reps are slow and very controlled. Our lower body is finished and now it's time to move on to direct core work. First exercise is the Paloff press. This exercise targets specifically the obliques and transversus abdominis. It's named after physical therapist John Paloff, who popularized it as a way to improve core stability and prevent rotational injuries. Grab a cable machine with an adjustable pulley, single handle attachment. The cable pulley should be positioned at around your chest height. Then hold the handle with both of your hands and bring your hands to the center of your chest. Stand a few steps to the side of the machine. Your elbows should be bent at 90 degrees and your forearms parallel to the ground. Push the handle away from your chest, fully extending your arms in front of you, while keeping your core tight and resisting any rotation or movement of your body as the cable pulls you to the side. Now breathe out as you are pushing the handle away and focus on squeezing your entire core. Hold this fully extended position for 1 to 2 seconds, focusing on maintaining stability and then slowly bringing them back to the starting position, maintaining control throughout the whole movement. I love this exercise. The second one is another superset. Supersets are a nice way to save time since I don't want to be in the gym for too long, but I only do these on the isolation lifts and usually the later lifts in my workout plan. Both these exercises are done on the floor and at the same spot, so it's quick and easy. First we do seated pike pulses. This is a challenging bodyweight exercise that primarily targets your core and hip flexors. The cool thing about this movement is that it's bodyweight, but by changing your hand placement, you are able to increase the load and progress over time. Simply sit on the floor, legs together and straight out in front of the floor. Put your hands next to your legs and only lean on your fingers. Even a slight movement is difficult for most people at first, and you might find that your upper body will move backward as you lift your feet off the ground. It's important to keep your upper body forward and do explosive reps. As you gain hip flexor and core strength, you could try to begin with your trunk closer to your legs and your hands further away from your body towards your legs. Once you become even more advanced, you can add ankle weights to make it even more challenging. It looks easy, but it's difficult. Now after 10 reps, we superset this with dead bugs. This is not a very well-known exercise in the fitness community, but it's amazing for strengthening your core and also for people with lower back pain. It targets all the muscles in your core and it appears simple, but it takes some practice and it's much more difficult than it looks, just like the last one. It requires deep concentration and steady engagement of multiple muscle groups at the same time, including your core, but also arms and legs. Start by lying down on your back with your knees bent. Lift both legs up. Knees and hips bent at 90 degrees. Now raise your arms so that they are pointing straight toward the ceiling. What's important now is to maintain a neutral spine, and the way I like to do this is by focusing on pressing my lower back into the floor. Extend your right leg forward while simultaneously raising your left arm overhead in a controlled manner. Return to the starting position, squeezing your core while doing so, and repeat with the opposite side. Remember to keep breathing and to constantly focus on keeping your spine neutral and not arching your lower back. So constantly focus on driving your lower back into the floor. You'll see how much you're going to be shaking for the first time. Now that's it for this workout. In the next workout, I'll share my full body workout as the fourth part of this program. If you'd like the entire 8-week program, including the training principles, substitutions, more detailed explanations, and the full training block put together into a complete guide, check out the first link in description, both available in Dutch and English. If you have any questions for this specific workout, leave a comment and I'll reply. Click here to watch the second episode of the Hybrid Aesthetics series, the pool workout, if you haven't seen it yet. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.